Hi you guys, I am ready for lesson 2 of module 13. I hope yesterday's lesson went well. It was just kind of like a little introduction to fractions, so I hope it went okay. I'm very excited for today's lesson, so go get your math books and a pencil and we will get working. I am on page 357 in our math books. Okay, so this is lesson 2 on representing and naming unit fractions. So we're gonna learn what a unit fraction is, how to represent it, how to name it. Our I can statement says I can represent and identify one equal part of a whole or group as a unit fraction. So we know a unit fraction is one equal part of a whole. So let's get started. Spark your learning. Mr. Carter has finished building 1/6 of his new wooden deck. Draw a picture of what the completed deck might look like. So here's the situation. Here is who is at Mr. Carter's house, and then the deck probably in his backyard. So he's built part of it. So what is the whole deck going to look like when it's done? Well, he's built 1/6. In our last lesson, we learned that 6, it's a weird word spelled you have it right here, S-I-X-T-H and then S. It's a funky word, but I tried to enunciate it so you know that I'm saying sixths and not just the number 6. So anyways, we learned that sixths are parts of a whole that have 6 equal pieces. So we know that we are going to have 6 equal pieces that look just like this. So here is 1/6. I need to write how many more? Well, the difference between 1 and 6 is 5. So I need 5 more little decks that look like this. So there's 1 more, 2 more, 3, 4, oops, that one went a little off, 5. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sixths. So this is what his deck will look like. Easy peasy, right? All right, the Turn and Talk says, you know the size and shape of one equal part of a whole. What do you need to know to draw the whole? Well, you need to know, let's see, I'm going to read that again. You know the size and shape of one equal part of a whole. What do you need to know to draw the whole? Well, to draw the whole, you just need to know like how many pieces, or you need to know the size of this piece. So if I didn't know that that was 1/6, I wouldn't know how many more pieces of the deck to draw. If it was a third, my drawing would look very different because I would only draw up to there, 3 pieces. So I need to know how many more pieces to draw. All right, next page. Number 1, Katya is painting a fence. She plans to divide the fence into 4 equal sections. Katya paints 1/4 of the fence. Show how the fence might look after she finishes painting. Okay, so this one, I'm going to use this little book. All right, so here's our situation. We're painting a fence. Katya is painting, she's dividing the fence into 4 equal sections. So I need to know that I have 4 sections on my fence. Katya paints 1/4 of the fence. Show how the fence might look after she finishes painting. So I am first going to draw my hole, my fence. Then, it went a little wonky, then I'm going to divide the fence into 4ths like Katya did. Okay, so to do that, I just drew my whole fence, and then I drew 3 lines inside, and I tried to kind of eyeball it and guess where it would be to make sure that each of those pieces are equal. So she paints 1/4 of the fence. So that means 1 piece of the whole fence. Show how the fence might look after she finishes painting. Well, after she finishes painting, all the fence would be filled in. So, part A, how many equal parts are in the whole fence? How many? Well, there are 4 equal sections, so there are 4 equal parts. How many equal parts are being counted? Just 1, because she paints 1 of the 4ths. What fraction names the painted part of the whole fence? The number of equal parts being counted, the number of equal parts in the whole. So we know with fractions that the bottom number is called the denominator, and it shows me how many equal parts of a whole, and there are 4 equal parts. How many equal parts were counted was the 1/4, because that's what Katya painted. We went in and filled in the rest for how it would look like if she finishes the whole fence, but I think it's just wanting to know what Katya's painting is looking like. So she only paints 1/4 of the fence, so we'll just redraw it. Like that. Okay, so how many equal parts are being counted? 1. All right, over here we have our vocabulary box. It says, a fraction is a number that names part of a whole or part of a group. The number of equal parts being counted is compared to the number of equal parts in the whole or the whole group. For example, 1/6. So this fraction, 1/4, is a fraction because it's naming this part of the fence that Katya is painting. She painted 1 piece out of the total 4 sections. Okay. The Turn and Talk says, what if there are 3 equal sections in a fence and Katya paints 1 section? What fraction could you write to represent the painted section? Okay, so this one's a little bit different because now instead of dividing the fence into 4 equal parts, we divided the fence into 3. So our total, our whole changed. Okay, so, that's really rough. I'll do it at the bottom. So if she painted 1 of these 3 pieces, our number that we're counting is still 1, but our total changed. Our total is now 3 instead of 4. All right, next page, 359. Number 2, Lev makes 1 blue t-shirt and 3 yellow t-shirts for the Butterfly Watchers Club. What fraction of the t-shirts is blue? Draw Lev's group of t-shirts. So, what fraction of the t-shirts is blue? That's what I need to find. And I'm going to draw a picture to show my work and to solve the problem. I know the information I need to use is that there's 1 blue t-shirt, 3 yellow t-shirts. So here's my group of t-shirts. Let's see if I can draw it. There's the neck. Okay, that's not too bad. I'm gonna draw, so that's my 1 blue t-shirt. I'm gonna put a B for blue. Okay, then I'm gonna do, oops. A yellow t-shirt, so I'm gonna put a Y on it for yellow. Okay, there's there's another yellow t-shirt, and one more yellow t-shirt. You guys are probably a lot better at drawing t-shirts than I am, but I just do my best. So here's my t-shirts, 1 blue, 3 yellows. So my question is, what fraction of the t-shirts is blue? Well, I have 1 blue shirt, so I know that that's going to be the number on top, because that's the number that's being counted. When it asks for the number that's being counted, really think about what is our main focus in the problem. Look for clues in the question. So what fractions of the t-shirts is blue? So we're going to be counting blue t-shirts. So look for that vocabulary. Now the bottom number is the total number of equal parts in the whole group. So how many t-shirts do I have all together? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that goes on the bottom. Okay? 1/4. So 1/4 of the t-shirts is blue, is how you would describe this situation. Now again, our vocabulary word, a unit fraction names 1 equal part of a whole or a group. The number of equal parts counted is 1. For example, you would write 1/8 and read it 1/8, or 1/8 and then read it as 1/8. So basically a unit fraction is just one of the, what we're looking at, one of the whole. One of the equal parts of the whole. All right. Compare the fractions in task 1 and task 2. How are they alike? How are they different? Let's go back to task 1 and let's see. So this is where the number, where you go back to the painting, Katya's painting. Let's see. They're the same. They're the same fraction because we're not talking about the same thing. Over here we're talking about a part of a fence, and over here we're talking about shirts. So you know in the vocabulary definitions it says like it names 1 equal part of a whole or a group. So the t-shirts would be a group of t-shirts and the fence would be a whole fence. Both could use fractions to describe both situations. This is a whole, this is a group, okay? But they're the same fraction because we're counting 1 and there's a total of 4. So pretty cool. All right, let's do the check understanding. Jess has 5 blue cubes and 1 red cube. What fractions of the cubes is red? So I'm looking for red cubes. How many do I have? 1, so that number goes on top. Now this is going to be a little bit tricky to determine what number goes on the bottom. We might want to just say, oh, 1/5. That's not right, okay? I don't want you to just look at those two numbers and go, oh, 1/5. Oh, for this one you could have said, oh, 1/3. But that does not tell us the whole story. Over here, we had to count the blue shirts plus the yellow shirts to get our total. Same with the check understanding. We have to do our blue cubes plus our red cubes to get our total. So if I have 5 blue cubes, 1 red cube, my total of cubes would be 6. So my fraction would be 1/6. Write a fraction to name the part of the whole or the part of the group that is blue. So we're looking at the blue parts. Here we have this 1 blue square or rectangle. How many total parts are there? 1, 2, 3. So see how I am counting the blue as well? Because it's part of the total. So I need to include it. I don't want to say 1/2 because that's not true. There are 3 parts and I'm focusing on one of them. So that's what can kind of be tricky about naming fractions. We can kind of get that mixed up a little bit, but we just have to be careful and remember that we're looking at the whole group and then finding what to focus on. So this one, how many bags are there? There are 2 bags. So that number goes on the bottom of the fraction, over 2. How many are blue? 1 of them. So that would be, the number 2 was 1/3. This one was 1/2. Number 4, how many dots are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dots all together. So that number goes on the bottom. How many blue dots are there? 1. So it'd be 1/8. All right, feeling good. Okay. Oh, my book. The paper won't fold. There we go. Number 5. Ty has 7 red peppers and 1 green pepper. I thought I read that wrong. Ty has 7 red peppers and 1 green pepper. What fraction of the peppers is green? So what am I focusing on? The green peppers. And I have 1 of them. So that goes on top. How many peppers are there all together? Well, I have 7 red plus 1 green equals 8 total. So 8 goes on the bottom. All right, Lara's square is the same size as Kenji's square. Are the 2 blue parts the same size? Explain. So I'm going to open my book a little bit so we can see it better. Okay, so this one is sometimes it's really tricky to think about this, but if they are the same size square and they are divided into the same number of parts, then those parts are going to be equal, as long as those parts are equal parts and not just random. So, in fact, Lara and Kenji, the blue rectangle and this blue triangle they must be the same size because they're 1/4 of the same size square. So you would write that, explain it in your own words. I'm not going to write it down because I don't want you waiting on me to write. But what you would write is, yes, the 2 blue parts are the same size. Remember, I have to address the question. The question is, are the 2 blue parts the same size? So you need to say, yes, the 2 blue parts are the same size because the squares are the same size and they are divided into the same number of equal parts. They are both divided into 4 equal parts and one of them is filled. So they are both representing 1/4. That was a lot. Pause, rewind, watch it again, write it down. All right, number 7. Write a fraction to name the part of the whole or part of the group that is blue. Okay, so here I'm talking about triangles. How many triangles do I have in total? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, so that number goes on the bottom. And how many of them are blue? 1. So 1 goes on top. All right, number 8. Here's my whole square. It's divided into how many pieces? 1, 2. So that number goes on the bottom. How many blue pieces do I have? 1. So that number goes on top. Number 9. Here's my circle. Maybe it's a pizza or a pie. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total pieces or equal parts, and one of them is filled blue. Okay, awesome, awesome. This, the shape shows a unit fraction of a whole. Remember, a unit fraction is 1 part. Draw to complete the whole shape. Okay, so we're filling in the shape. Number 10, a 1/6 of a shape. So that means how many pieces should this shape have? 6. How many pieces does it have right now? 1. So how many more do I need to draw? 5. So I'm just gonna I'm just gonna do 1 rectangle at a time. So that's 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5, and 6/6. The last two went a little wonky, but that's okay. Just doing my best, and you guys just do your best too. Number 11, a third of a shape. So if it's a third, how many pieces should be in my total? 3. How many do I have? 1. So how many do I need to draw? 2. So that's 1/3. I'm going to draw one more square that will give me 2/3. One more square that's going to give me 3/3. And number 12, a half of a shape. So a half, remember, the whole would be 2 pieces. So I'm just gonna copy this and draw the other half of the circle. Ta-da! All right, our learning mindset says, with whom should I talk for help in solving problems that involve unit fractions? Who could you talk to? You got lots of people you can talk to. You can talk to me. You can talk to your parents. You can talk to each other, call each other up. Hey, let's talk about unit fractions. All right, this was such a fun lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's not too overwhelming. Like I said, we're kind of just easing our way into fractions. I have all the faith in the world for you. I know you can do it, and let me know if you need any help. Love your guts. I'll talk to you later.